who's also a member of the Congressional Taiwan Caucus. Congressman, good to see you. That White House readout was vague. China's wasn't. What did you make of it?
Well, you know, why is Joe Biden allowing Xi Jinping to dictate to the United States of America instead of being bold and strong? And, you know, we need deterrence on China. China's never going to be stronger than they will be in 2030. So I'm, very fearful, Sean, that they're going to act between now and then to try and seize Taiwan. And that's a very big deal for many reasons we may be able to get into here in this chat. But Xi Jinping has got to act like the tough guy. All authoritarian regimes have to do that. And Joe Biden should have been very clear that Xi Jinping, if you and your other communist brethren cross those Taiwanese straits, you're in a hot war with the United States. That's called deterrence. That's called peace through strength.
Yeah, I get that. But here's the deal. Pelosi put us in an uncomfortable situation. She never cleared this trip with anybody, right? She never told the Biden administration that she was going. She announced it first or leaked it out first, and then they had to play catch up. So I get it. We should never, ever, ever back down to China or what they want. But the problem is now we have to deal with this. And now China's saying that they're going to retaliate militarily. We've got to move a lot of air and ships and assets in the Indo-Pacific region and make sure that we can cover her. All of this because she wanted to have a farewell tour. It was selfish and it was reckless.
Well, Sean, isn't Nancy Pelosi the prime minister of the United States? Oh, that's right. We don't have a parliamentary system. I don't know what she's thinking. She's not the head of state, and she often tries to act like it. She did that back when she had her first Senate speaker. Didn't she go to Syria and talk and meet with Assad as if it was a state visit? That is not her role. So she should slow her roll and understand what she should be doing here. And as she always stepped out again. But now it puts us in this position, too, where if she doesn't go, it looks like we back down. It was a total flub.
Well, I mean, as I said, I just want to be clear. She's leaving Congress at the end of this cycle, whether she wants to admit it or not. Republicans are taking the majority. It's no one wants to talk about it openly, but she's going. And this is her farewell tour. And I just think it's so selfish. But the other thing that I thought was interesting that didn't get a lot of discussion, at least it didn't appear to, was COVID. Where is the United States coming up and saying, hey, you've caused a lot of deaths. COVID is on your watch over there, and where is your responsibility? I didn't see that as a major issue of this call.
Oh, because that might upset Xi Jinping. And apparently, Joe Biden is playing second fiddle to him. Instead of, as you knew, President Trump had an America First policy. Joe Biden has proven time and again in a year and a half that he has a, America Last policy. I would look him right in the eye and say, the lab leak theory, I don't think is a theory. We know the truth, and you're responsible. And you know what? You need to be held responsible economically for all the damages that you've done.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of, I think part of this, or at least a lot of people on the right are talking about the fact that there's uncertainty surrounding whether or not Hunter Biden owns a 10% stake in this Chinese government-linked investment fund called BHR Partners, right? That you've got this new report out that reveals that Joe Biden met with at least 14 of Hunter's business associates while he was vice president, and includes associates from China. I mean, the weakness that you're talking about, you've got to wonder whether or not that there's still a link there. And no one is getting, I mean, I know that the Republicans are trying to get to the bottom of this, but you've got a DOJ that won't do anything. You've got House Democrats that won't do anything. And you've got to concern yourself whether or not there's a national security threat on this.
No, Sean, you're absolutely right. I mean, in 2019, Joe Biden made it very clear that he said that he had never met and never discussed Hunter Biden's business dealings with him. But that casts a lot of doubt when you met with 14 of his business associates. And then in 2014, meeting with the two Miguels, Velasco and Magnani, the Mexican business associates of Hunter Biden. And Joe Biden, there's pictures of him giving him a tour of the White House. And then what happens a year later? Hunter Biden sets up a video conference call between Joe Biden and Carlos Slim, the Mexican billionaire. So who was the big guy, Sean? And why did he get 10 points? That's what we need to know, and that's what a Republican Congress will get to the bottom of.
Yeah, before I let you go, I want to talk to you about, there's these reports coming out, not reports, actually the State Department seems to have confirmed them, about whether or not there's going to be a deal for Brittany Griner out of Russia. And we're going to swap her and another prisoner that we have over there for this brutal, brutal person that we have locked up legitimately here. Do you support that trade?
Absolutely not. It's such a horrible precedent. The merchant of death is he's a convicted criminal in our court. And Brittany Griner and the other gentleman, the other American citizen, they're just fodder, and they were just plucked off the streets as bargaining chips. And that only encourages not only Russia, but other totalitarian regimes to grab Americans, and it makes us all less safe. And it's again, bad policy, putting America last.
I agree. I mean, this is a very dangerous precedent where if you can trade off brutal killers like that guy for people who were not legitimately detained in another country, it's you're putting a bounty on every American's head that travels in certain countries. Congressman Pat Fallon, thank you for being with us.
Thanks, Sean. God bless. Take care.
You bet. Still ahead, the media spent years rallying against Trump's so-called destruction of the